Psychodrama plays a major role, and also getting to understand what specific tools represent, not only traditionally, but to you as well. So as you move on and practice for years and you gain the power required, you can not use implements to the very least, as long as your imagination connects and attracts that will, desire, belief. About 2300 BCE, in the city of Ugarit, which is near Syria, or located within Syria now, the ancient Canaanites would often perform offerings and spell invocations to a rather obscure underworld deity known as Horon. Horon was a god that you called upon in the most dire of circumstances, simply because his reign, his power, extended into the serpents, into the beasts, and predators in the desert wastelands and mountains. Invoking Horon and his children, who are known as blood-sucking serpents and demons, and I'm quoting, were often revered by magicians and sorcerers alike, called the Kesapim. Horon went from that location to his cult spreading throughout the coastal area into New Egypt, with the reign of various pharaohs who revered Horon. There's even a statue of Horon in the form of a predatory hawk, much like Horus, protecting Ramses. Horon is also was revered among the military of the New Kingdom, Egypt, when they were most powerful. How did Horon go from a great underworld god who had majesty and respect, of understanding the darkness and using it to your benefit, to then being the cursed abyss guarding demon of Enoch, John Dee, and Aleister Crowley's Zax, the 10th Ether? Christianity plagued many of the old gods. It plagued it with demonizing everything that was not Yahweh. And any deific mask that had a semblance of humanity or represented a certain act was then pushed to the high extreme to where it was a hazard rather than a benefit. That's how you demonize gods. Let's restore that. How do you restore that? You restore that by simply going about your life, opening the gates to the old gods and demons, in turn illuminating your daemon, and then becoming a god in flesh, and upon your death, your daemon, your psyche, mortalized and worshipped by your own actions in life, and those who honor you after honor you by doing great things in accordance with the Luciferian path. But that's something else entirely. Luciferianism requires that we understand darkness, that we understand light, because that light emerges from within. So let's think about the dwelling place of Horon, whose very name is contained in a root, which means hidden place or underworld. He's known as a sorcerer. What is sorcery within Luciferianism? You can understand it to be encircling something, commanding it, compelling it, by often unseen forces. Science helps support many of the theories of magic, while no scientist can disprove magic. Magic can't prove science either. But both can be worked together if, depending on one's own theistic or atheistic outview, how they look at it. So magic is about thinking, then believing, having the will and the desire to visualize it in your head, how it shall happen. Mental strength, developing control over the mind and body, using Hermetic yoga or the Tunanu yoga in Dragon of the Two Flames for piercing each chakra point, raising the fire serpent or the two fire serpents upward. The symbolism of these all has significance in spirituality, but also within our own minds. And when you have the best of both worlds, meaning that you don't have to be atheistic or theistic to enter Luciferianism, you will come out that much better, because it doesn't matter what you believe. If you apply the principles, it affects the mind, and the mind affects the spirit. Very important in there. In adversarial light, if you're just coming into Luciferianism and you're not sure where to go, what to look at, I suggest, as I've said before, Dragon of the Two Flames, Mascom Whole, Goetia of Shadows, Adversarial Light. Adversarial Light has some significant traditional Luciferian and satanic witchcraft. There's also other books. One is by Kendra Ravenmoon on satanic witchcraft, which was recently published. I wrote the introduction for it, had the chance to go over the grimoire, and it's quite on par with what we're doing with the Luciferian current. She's truly manifesting it. So things like that are very useful for a Luciferian to come in. And what I would tell you is, Luciferianism is the next step in evolution from previous Leviathan Satanism and so forth. I'm not saying anything bad about Leviathan Satanism. It is an evolution, however, and I hope that Luciferianism can be a connectivity, a kind of bridge, a new manifestation between Thelema, Satanism, old world ceremonial magic, which is outdated and pointless, to the restoration of the old pantheons. There's a Luciferian prayer in Adversarial Light. It's called a prayer to the Angel of Light. And it begins with, I invoke thee, God, within myself, that I may seek my own redemption, that I may know the secrets within this world. And I raise myself to be wise through experience, that's initiation, and test, so I shall be a bringer of light, a source of the black flame of knowledge. I have no need of a jealous and false God. My God and goddesses dwell within. So you can see by the very essence of the prayer, it spits upon and desecrates the Christian so-called spirit. Christians have no fathomable idea of spirituality, of knowing the darkness, the beauty of the darkness, and the pleasures of the darkness, and also the power and knowledge obtained from the darkness. And it is within the darkness of entering the abyss and invoking the powers of primordial chaos that you are able to control these powers within yourself, and it will shape your world if you can keep your mind focused. And I've always referred, people that know me personally, I always refer to my father as, my father this and father that. And if I ever had a spiritual father, it was the adversary. People know as Ahriman, Lucifer. Now, I'm not a delusional person. I don't believe in the Christian devil, but I love the symbolism of it, at least on a basic level, kind of like people like football. So it's not a big deal for me. I am what I am, if you know that quote. Casting the Circle of the Dragon. The circle casting process, you'll find in Dragon of the Two Flames, Mascom Whole, and Adversarial Light, You have the authentic practice, the spiritual modern applied satanic practice, which is a divorce from medieval ceremonial magic. I restored the dignity of the Luciferian spirit on par and on level with the Deific Mask and demons. People cower in circles and attempt to conjure with sweaty palms. What we're doing is establishing that superstition has no purpose, is bullshit, in terms of I don't believe there's another deity more powerful than I am. I believe in energies in Deific Mask, and those energies could render me asunder and cast me into the void. However, acting through individuals, when your mind is focused, nothing stops you. My daemon guides me well. As you go on with magic, your daemon will guide you well, hopefully, if you listen to your instincts. And often it's easier than what you're probably going to make it be. So you should think about what I'm saying in terms of applying magic in a daily way. And before you know it, you're going to see a kind of wheel has grown and gained momentum through your initiatory practice to where you think you're on the wrong path and it's dull and boring and hard, and then rewarding, and then the power starts. So prepare yourself in that way. When you step in within the circle, you should know that the circle represents inner power, potential, and primordial beginnings. So invoke Leviathan as you would embrace a great friend, a part of yourself, and go forward with that. Excellent rituals in Dragon of the Two Flames that will prepare you for future workings, such as with the satanic cult of Mask, the Egyptian magic from the New and Old Kingdom. Thank you for watching this, and I'll have more on ritual practice shortly.